G'day everyone, Pokemaniac here, and after 3 long weeks, we are back. Now, I've gone and done it again, said that I'm going to do the regular videos, and then life has gotten in the way, as it does. So for that, I do apologise. I know that consistency is key, and that I need to be putting these out more consistently, and I will endeavour to do so. But as we know, life just goes like that. You know, time goes very, very quickly. But I don't want to make any excuses. I want to just get straight into week 4, 5, and 6 recap. Let's go. Now, admittedly, it has been a slow couple of weeks in the Pokemon business space, and that contributes to why there hasn't been videos. I didn't want to just put out a video of me just talking about nothing. I want to make this content important. I want to make this quality. I want to make it interesting so that when you click on it, you're actually getting some kind of substance. For those who are here and watching, you're obviously interested in Pokemon business. And so I wanted to give you some updates that actually mean anything. So even though it's been slow, I do want to talk about a couple of things that I've thought about and a couple of things that, that have happened. Now, let's start straight away with the sales recap for March. I know that, that people want to see figures, so let's talk about the sales recap, and we'll just get straight into it by putting the number on the screen. That is $597.19 worth of sales for March. Now, as you'll probably well know, I haven't listed that much, so I'm actually happy with that value. And so it gives you an idea of if you were doing a lot more buying and selling than I have been doing the last month, you can get some decent numbers there. We haven't had a big month because I am conserving my capital and my stock for the show, even though it is later in the year. So if you wanted to really get those sales going, you'd just be listing everything, and you can get some pretty decent sales. Obviously, it's nothing compared to what some full-timers are doing, but for a little side hustle, I'm happy with those numbers. Let's see what we can do in April. Probably a lot lower, but we'll see what we can come up with. Now, the second sort of biggest thing that we've had happen in March, and I guess into April as well, is the release of Perfect Order. Now, as we know, I don't sell, the sealed products of the new sets. We save those for the big box stores and the retailers. That's for them. However, I do want to talk about the set and a few key things and what the set means for business, because down the track, and I guess knowing about the hits and stuff, if you're in the singles game, which in Pokemon business, singles are important, we can still get an idea of the profitability of Perfect Order. So let's jump into that. Now, I have got a little card here with some information, so excuse me for that. So the first thing, let's talk about Perfect Order. It's been released. The community sentiment is that it's a weaker set. Pokemon investors will tell you that it is a weaker set. I'm not much of a player, but players will tell you that it's an okay set. But we want to look at the profitability of the set. Now, this is not an investing channel, and I'm going to shout out to PokeOz. He's an Australian YouTuber for Pokemon investing. I call this pose here, you'll notice it's a different pose while we have a conversation. This is the PokeOz pose, or the PokeOz sort of angle for filming. So shout out to him, and I recommend you go and check out his channel for investing. He will talk about Perfect Order and its investability a lot more than we will here. But let's look at the hits of Perfect Order, and we're just going to take the top hits. You've got the Zygarde, the Gold Zygarde. I'm going to put them on the screen too. So you've got the Gold Zygarde, you've got the Rosa, you've got the Jacinth, I think I'm pronouncing that right. You've got the Meowth, you've got the regular Zygarde EX, you have got the Mega Starmie and the Mega Clefable. Those are your hits. Pretty underwhelming is what the community sentiment would say. For me personally, there isn't anything really in that top tier hits that really appeals to me that much. So the hits, that's what we've got. That plays a part into sort of, the profitability of the set, because these hits are not worth as much as any of the other sets. Next, we look at product availability. This product is readily available. I've walked into Kmart, Target, EB Games, and it is everywhere. Booster boxes in EB Games of Perfect Order. We haven't seen that for years. So the product availability is high, if not, I won't say very high, but the product availability is high. It's there, it's very available to get the product. What does that mean? It means the secondary market isn't as hot for the product. But from a business point of view and a sort of a business profitability point of view, if you wanted to purchase and save them for later down the tracks, that's what I've been doing. I've been buying a few pieces here and there, a few blisters and stuff for my, my future vision of owning a store. Getting the blisters now and you being able to regularly just walk in and grab 4 blisters is great for my future product stock. So product availability is high is a great thing. The value now and the value over time. So the value of the set right now is quite low. If once again, I'm going to shout out to PokeOz. If you look at total set value, it's quite low. The value of the set right now is quite low because it is very available. Value over time. I think that the set is still going to stay as a low value set over time. However, it will increase in value in a year's time when it's not being printed and it's not on the shelves, in 2 years' time. And for me, I'm thinking 4 years ahead when I hopefully open a store or something like that. It's going to be worth more. It's going to be higher in value. So the value now is low. The value over time, I'm going to say, is low to medium. I don't think it's going to skyrocket. It's going to be one of those shrouded fables. It's still not worth a lot, but you will see some gains over time with it. So there's no harm in when you see a couple of boosters, don't be greedy. Grab an art set here and there, grab a booster bundle, grab an ETB, don't go crazy, and store them away. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm not selling them now by any means. We know the rules, nothing over 12 months. But this is for my store down the track. Now, what does this mean as a business for Perfect Order? It means the best way I can sum it up is that it means that it is available for you to purchase now as future stock. Because if you purchase it now and sell it now, you're not going to make any money. But it is available for you to purchase as future stock. And having something on your shelves of your stores or your stalls is a great thing. So I think Perfect Order is a good way to get some stock for a potential future business. There's also room for the singles market as well. There's a chance that you can buy, you buy a booster box, you crack it, you get some singles, you sell them. You're unlikely going to make your money back, but there's an opportunity for some single plays as well there by grabbing those cards and grading them. The grading plays there because we all know 10s can convert prices into X amount times the original value, and with the cards being lower in value, there might be a grading play there as well. So that's my take on Perfect Order. Personally, for myself, my personal collection, I've got, there you go, there's an Elite Trainer box there. I've got one for myself that I'll have there. I've got a booster box behind me, and that's pretty much it. I've got some blister packs and stuff that I've put away. I've opened a bit. I've personally hit nothing at all. But that's my take on Perfect Order from a business perspective. All right, look, I'm going to round out this video here. It's a short one because, as I said, it's been a slow couple of weeks. But I'm going to talk about some goals that I have. Now, if you've sort of listened back to what I was just saying before, I have a long-term goal of opening a store, and I think everyone does. Whether it's a pie-in-the-sky idea or not, who knows? But I have the dream and the vision to open a store, and so I'm sort of in the back of my mind preparing for that to be maybe 4 years down the track. I'm not going to rush into it. We know that rushing into it is a terrible idea for business. So I'm just slowly collecting up and building stuff for a potential store. Sorry about that. I had to do a quick cut. It's raining here and I didn't want to risk any of the rain sort of bleeding in. If it has bled in earlier, I do apologize. So yeah, we're talking about goals. I obviously have a goal to have a store in the future, way down the track, but I am thinking about it all the time in terms of, like I was saying before, buy a couple blisters here. Been buying sealed product with auctions and stuff, like I was talking about previously with buying strategies. I've been buying older box sets and stuff to have for later down the track. But in the short term, my goals, I want to do some pop-up stores and test what it's like in my local area for the demand for another sort of store. Now, in my area, we already have 2 local game stores. And like we say, we always leave the sealed product for those guys, but they don't deal in the singles market. And I think there's obviously an opportunity, and it's what I mainly deal with for singles and stuff like that. So I want to test the waters with doing some pop-up shops in some of my local sort of adjacent towns. Where I live, there's towns, smaller towns an hour or so away. And my plan is to hopefully do at least one pop-up shop this year and test the waters in those areas where they don't have physical brick and mortar stores. And what that might look like would be, just renting out a building for a weekend or a space And yeah, just doing a sort of pop up. I thought about maybe do I get other people to come in? Do I offer it as a space to come and trade and play as well? Or do I just make it more focused on my business? There's a few moving parts to it. Do I get other people who are in Pokemon business as well to sort of, because I know there's a few others in the area, to maybe share the space, and we all do different things. I know there's some people that deal with slabs, things like that. So there's a few ideas, but I think a pop-up shop is going to be my first sort of step forward past doing a show, and like in that midpoint of doing a show and having a store is like a pop-up store. So I think that's something I'm really going to try and do, and I'll keep you informed as we go along, to really try and get one in the books. The hardest part to that is obviously finding a rental for just those couple of days and locking it in advance versus maybe they rent out the space permanently to a business. So there's a few moving parts to that, but I think it'd be really, really cool to try. And if I certainly get off the ground, I will certainly let you know. So look, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. This was more of a check-in, let you know. We talked about perfect order. We talked about some goals, some longer term goals. We looked at some social media stuff. So I hope that this has been a entertaining video for you, if nothing else. And we will try and get back to some regular programming with, our goal setting and everything like that for the next video. But for now, thank you very much. Please do the usuals, like and subscribe if you enjoy what you see. It means a lot having you along for the journey. So I do appreciate it. And we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.